Hey guys, welcome back. All right, so this is take 3 on part 2. I don't know what the heck's going on. Anyway, so we need to figure out what we're gonna do to close this. This is what we're doing. It's like an oversized, I guess this is also a policy envelope, these oversized like stringed envelopes. These came from Hobby Lobby. Watch part 1 of this like little series. I don't know how many videos this is going to be. Hopefully just 2, but you know, it might turn into 3. I don't know. But anyways, watch part 1 because I'm, you know, you'll see it get to this point. Okay. So I've got these envelopes pretty much prepped, ready to go. The only thing I need to do is, you know, with these is basically just attach them to this. But we don't want to do that yet because I want to add a little bit of like writable space on the front of this envelope. Now you could obviously write on it just like it is, but I don't know. I kind of want to make it more interesting. So I'm just going to take, this is just some ledger that's really brittle, and like the whole entire ledger is brittle. So this is really the only way that I can use it is, you know, gluing it onto something else. So I'm just going to do that. Pretty simple, you know, large pieces. And I like to try to add some variation in texture of paper as well as like tone or color. Just, I don't know, just to make it interesting. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm not gluing that thing. I don't know what you call that. That thing. Okay, and then let's see what else. I guess I could use a piece of you know, like an end paper. All right, Jessica, don't make it too complicated. How do I want that? I want it like that, and then I'll add something else down there. And I am going to do some stitching around the edge of this envelope, and then we're going to figure out how to add the tie. And probably do oh my gosh, I can't even talk and chew gum at the same time, you guys. We're going to also do magnets. Okay, so let's add just a little piece of, well, let's just use the grid paper that's on the craft cardstock. Okay. Okay, I didn't need to tear that bottom side, but that's okay. I'm going to cut it off because, all right, just like that. Perfect. Want to make sure and add a good amount of glue because I don't want it coming up. Okay. Actually, I'm going to add just a tiny bit of ink on there before I stick it down. Okay. Okay. And I like when you use the baby wipe after using the distress ink. It sort of like blends the ink out onto the other paper too. So Anyway, okay, so that's where we're at. Now I want to do some stitching around the flap and then also around the whole border of the envelope. Sometimes these come off. I don't know. I don't think they tie them on there. I think they're just hooked in when they do the eyelet, because I've had them come off. So, you know, if it does, just tie it back on. But sometimes that shortens the string considerably if you have to tie that on again. So if it comes off and you have to tie it back on, check your length, you know, to make sure that you can wrap around a couple times. If you can't, then just replace this string with like embroidery floss or something like that, or just like a lightweight cotton string, or even baker's twine. Okay, so let me grab my sewing machine real quick, and I'm just going to stitch around that flap and the border of the envelope. Okay, I'm just going to use a straight stitch on this. I should have lengthened the stitch a little bit, and I'm kind of doing this a little bit messy. Intentionally. Okay. I'm going to lengthen the stitch just a little bit. Okay. So I've got it on 4.0 now, in case anybody wonders. I think I'm going to actually do like a very thin zigzag, like a narrow, longer zigzag on this part. Yeah. Sorry, I know that's probably super loud. Okay, and then I'm just getting as close as I can to the edge of the envelope without, you know, going over. I wish it was easier to switch from a straight stitch to a zigzag on these machines. On my old Singer machine, it was super easy. You just had to flip a little switch. You could go zigzag, straight stitch, you know, real quick. Okay, so let's put this guy down for now. Just for a second. So here's my idea for adding a tie. Okay, so it's gotta, hang on, let me just fasten this envelope real quick. It's driving me nuts. See, it's nice if you can wrap around twice, like completely. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I want to use just these real thin little strips of muslin as my tie. So, I mean, I could just make a super long one go right around the back, but I want to be able to stitch it on, and it gets complicated or difficult to do that when, you know, you'll see. Okay, So it's hard to do that when you've got these envelopes that are flipping out and stuff, because you gotta get the envelope on the inside of the machine, of the, you know, arm of the machine. So what I thought I would do is just attach it onto this flap before I attach them to the envelope, right? So all you really kind of need to worry about is that they're at the right height. And to do that, I think I'm just going to make a little, like a little pencil mark or something. So I want to make sure that they're even. So right there. Okay, and then this one, just want to mark it at the same height. Just so that they're, you know, going to meet up correctly. Okay, and then I'm going to stitch those on to these flaps. But first I'm going to glue it just to tack it in place. Okay. And this is really thin fabric, so I'm trying to make a writing space on the back of this envelope, so I don't want to have like a thick piece of fabric going right across the back of it. I don't know, that would just bug me. So I'm just tacking that on right there on the flap. And then this one goes like that. And this would work really well, I think, with seam binding, if you wanted to use seam binding for your closure. Okay, so it goes that direction. All right, yeah, so this is going to work, I think. I should let this dry before I stitch it, but I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so I'm just going to run a very simple little zigzag right along that edge, just to tack that fabric on. Okay, just super quick, just so that it won't pull out. I mean, this is going to get glued anyways, but I just want to make sure that it doesn't like pull out later. Not that anybody's going to be really like yanking on it that hard, but it just makes me feel better. Okay. And I'm sure you guys could probably come up with some other ways of attaching that on here, but I thought about using an eyelet maybe. I thought that might be kind of cool too. But anyways, all right. So that gets the tie closure on there, okay? So these are going to actually get glued down to the back now. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to put my glue on the inside of the flap. Oops. Right over that. Okay, and it's going right to the bottom of the envelope. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay. And this one, same thing on the other side. I have to keep like positioning this because I'm so scared that I'm going to put it on wrong. Okay. There we go. And the glue just softens the paper just enough that it glues on to that stitching really well too. So, okay. So there, we got our flaps and we got our ties. So now I just want to do some simple collage on the back to give us a writing surface on the back also. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the rest of this piece. Let me cut this border off. You guys hear the hamster still? He is going to town. Okay. I'm actually going to use a little bit of tacky glue on this because I've got to make sure that this sticks over the stitching. This is tacky glue that I put into a bottle. Okay. And the only reason I'm worrying about that with this particular paper is because it's that cardstock, that heavy craft cardstock. And whoops, I forgot to put the rest of my glue on. And I just don't want it lifting up at the edges. Because I know that it'll glue onto the thread of my stitch and stuff really good. Really well. Or really good, whatever you want to call it. Okay, I think I got enough glue on there now. Okay, so that's going on there. And see, so I'm covering up that flap. I need to buy stock in Huggies. Okay, and then something else. Might as well use another little piece of this. And I could probably, you know, throw in some pattern paper in here, or even like some tissue or something like that. I'm not gonna, but but I could. I could maybe add a little bit of the eggs or something, or a little piece of ledger. I need to cover that up with something a little bit more sturdy though. I don't want to put that upside down. There, how about like that? No, you don't like that. There. And you'll still have plenty of writing space. I just like the way this looks. I need to use something heavier right there, I feel like. A thicker type of paper. Okay. Sometimes with this old ledger, you don't know like what kind of ink they used. So when you go over it with the baby wipe, sometimes it runs. Okay. This is just a printed lined paper. It's pretty similar to that, but that's okay. I'm going to actually ink around the edge of this. Hope the lighting is okay for these videos. It's really weird. I put these new lights up on my desk and I don't like the way they glare on video. So I basically just have like this sort of ambient light coming from another floor lamp on the other side of my room, and it seems to look okay. So I don't know. Anyways, but so in reality, like the lighting on my desk is kind of dark. So anyway, okay, yeah, see, I like that. I think it looks pretty cool. All right, so I'm not going to stitch around this anymore. I'm just going to rely on the glue to hold that down, you know, and it's been doing pretty well holding up, you know. Okay, so see, that looks cute. I like that. Where is it? There it is. I was trying to get that string off. So there's a little tie closure, just kind of at the bottom. I'm going to add a couple magnets anyways, just because I want to. I'm going to add one here to hold this closed. And this is kind of how I do it. This is what I've been doing lately with magnets. First of all, you can get these on Amazon. These are, oh, I can't remember the thickness of the magnet. I'll put it in the description. The, I've got an Amazon affiliate thing anyways, so I'll try to get it together if I can figure it out real quick, and add a link to get these magnets, because it's actually a pretty good deal if they still have them. It's a pretty good deal. You get 200 magnets for like right around $8, I think. And okay, so this is paper tape. It's medical tape. Okay, and the paper kind, not the fabric kind, the paper, because it's real thin and it tears real easy. Anyway, so I just take the magnet and I lay them out on my desk. You have to lay them kind of far apart from each other, otherwise they have a tendency to just like click together, right? So I take one of them and stick it on the sticky part of the tape, and then I apply that to the flap, okay, and stick it down. And it's really cool because that tape is kind of transparent, you know, it almost just disappears. Okay, and then I take another piece of that paper tape. It doesn't have to be a big piece. And you know how magnets have a tendency to like push away from each other if they're on the wrong pole, you know? So what I do is I take this tape to make sure that they're going to actually stick to each other. I take that tape and I just kind of hold it like that, so the sticky side is up against my magnet, and then I drop this magnet and it flips to the right, you know, pole, so that they'll actually attract. Okay, and then I close that to where, you know, where it's going to be, and then just sort of use the tip of my scissors or something like that and hold that down. Sometimes it'll actually just stick anyways. Just hold that down and then just press the tape down, and then the magnet is good. Okay, so I don't know, I just think that's an easy way to do magnets in this kind of application, you know. So let's do one on here too, because why not, you know? They also have, I've got some other magnets, some little teeny tiny ones. That's like 5 right there, believe it or not. Great. I dropped it on the floor. I dropped that little roll of magnets on the floor, and I had to find them under my chair. They were stuck to my chair. Okay. Oh, you guys will never guess what my son found in his bed last night. Yeah, he found a king snake. Yeah, one of those black and red and yellow snakes. Not poisonous, but I'll tell you what, we didn't know that. We did not know that when he saw it. It wasn't our snake. I don't know where it came from, but those snakes do not live in the wild in Washington. So it must have been somebody's pet, because, and it was like, it was kind of touch and go there for a second. It was kind of scary because we didn't know if it was a coral snake or a king snake. Anyways, yeah. I'm not going to show it to you because I know some of you guys do not like snakes. Okay, so I'm holding the tape with the sticky side up, and I'm dropping the magnet. Close. Hold it down. Press it. Okay, so I got a magnet there and a magnet there. So what I did on the other ones, and I know, you know, not everybody has these little tiny tabs because I cut these out on my Scan and Cut, but if you do, this is a cool way to use them. If not, you can make your own little tab pretty easily. A small tab. I'll show you how to make one real quick. Take a circle punch, and you guys probably know how to do this, but just in case you don't, take a circle punch, punch out a circle. Fold the circle in half, and this is to make a little tiny one, okay? So fold the circle in half. Hold on. And then, let me make sure I do this right. I'm going to use this circle. You want to cut the corner off of it. It's hard to do on a little tiny one, but back here it's easy, I guess. There. So see, you can make yourself a little tiny tab that way, just using a small circle punch. And then I like to put a little tab just right there on these. I don't know why, it just, I don't know. I just kind of like the way it looks. But if you have some of these little tiny tabs that I've been sort of handing out like candy, this is a good way to use them. Or, you know, you could even just put an eyelet there, like add an eyelet, and then maybe hang a charm right from the edge of that pocket or something. I don't know. I just like the way it looks with the tab on there. Okay, and then I'm going to add another one right here. I might as well just use this one, the one that I made. Ooh, wait, I know what I'll do. Since I made it with the grid paper, I'll put the grid paper on the outside. That way it's all matchy-matchy. And I'm putting it kind of at the bottom on this one, on this side. I probably could have attached the tabs before I did the stitching. You know, I probably could have, but I didn't. I could go back and just run that through the sewing machine real quick just to stitch over the tabs, you know. And I might do that. I don't know. Depends. But I'm using the Scotch Create glue to attach those because this stuff is serious. It's actually really, really good glue. As far as for paper, right? Okay, so there, yeah. Now, if you want, like, if you don't like the way that that looks with that paper tape, you can just punch out like a circle, or I use like a little scallop punch, and then just glue it over the top of that. These magnets are plenty strong enough to attract through a couple layers of thin paper. So, but I don't necessarily mind that paper tape. I think it looks kind of cool. So yeah, so you can use a little tab to open your whatchamacallit. Okay, so that ties, yeah, I don't know. I just kind of like the way that looks. And then I would probably do a notch here, just because, and actually a kind of deep one, because I think that makes it a little bit easier to just get things in and out of these, you know. There. And probably ink this a little. And I'm going to ink the outside. Oh, darn it. I just got ink everywhere. No big deal. I might as well just ink it up, right? So I'm just going to ink the edges and that kind of stuff. Grunge it up. And then, you know, I guess I don't really need to worry about making tags. You guys make tags. You know how to make tags. Your own, you know, you do your thing with tags. I do my thing with tags. I've made lots of tags on videos. So I think that is pretty much it. And this is my version of a altered string envelope. Yeah, I sort of like it. I would maybe attach a button on this string or something. You know, maybe tie a little button on there or something. Or you could replace that with, like I said, baker's twine. And oh my gosh, you could do all kinds of stuff. You could add fabric on these and really kind of bling it out or whatever. You know, maybe add an eyelet here and a charm or something like that. But oh, I want to add a label on here for sure. I do want to add a label. Oh, I had one pulled out that I was going to put on there. And a little other thing. This is from a dictionary. It's the definition of the word free. And I'm just going to put it right there. Yeah. Okay, I'm dragging it out now, but you guys get the idea. kind of fun. There's all kinds of ways that you could totally alter these envelopes. So there, and then I'm just going to add this label. There we go. Got any more snakes in your room, Sebastian?
I hope not.
Oh. There. I think that looks really cool. Am I forgetting anything? I don't think so. I'll take a picture and add it as a thumbnail with tabs. You know, tabs and stuff like that. Anyways, I'm pretty happy with it. So, yeah. So anyways, that's the end of part 2, and I think we're done. So thanks for watching, you guys. And let me know what you think. And if you try it or if you make one of these, share pictures in our Facebook group, you know. And if you're not in our Facebook group, then you should be if you're on Facebook. You know, some people aren't on Facebook for, you know, philosophical reasons. But yeah. And if you want to join, all you have to do is send me a request and we'll do it. So, okay, guys, I love you. Take care. Have a good day. And I will talk to you sooner than later. Okay, bye for now.